here we are, only 20 minutes after I turned this on, no preheat or anything, and it's already completely melted over 6 pounds of heatsink aluminum. This is incredibly powerful furnace. So I'm just gonna wait for it to heat up a bit more. I finally figured out a way to make degassing pellets. So I can't get it to actually make like individual little pellets. So what I did was I put powder in here and got a rod of steel that was the exact diameter of the inside of this, just hammered it down until it's like a cake in there. So it'll function the same way. The heat will decompose it, it'll create chlorine, which will then create aluminum chloride, bubble up through the melt and remove hydrogen. So, yeah, I have no more aluminum here to melt tonight. So I'm going to degas it. I'm gonna put in my respirator and a face shield, chemical goggles, all that good stuff. Okay, so I'll shut this off, degas it, and I'll be back in a second. So that worked perfectly. The degassing rod, as soon as it went, it started making bubbles, and I moved it all around the melt. It made all these nice bubbles, and then you can see all this flux forming. So that's really good. That means all the hydrogen is out of there, it's degassed. So now I'm gonna flex it with various salts, potassium chloride, sodium chloride, potassium nitrate. What that'll do is it'll remove the rest of the dross. It'll make it a dry dross, which what that means is it takes all the aluminum out of the dross so that I lose as little as possible. And it also makes a cover flux so it doesn't get oxidized while I'm waiting for it to heat up more. Stir that in, wait for it to come back up to temperature, and let's pour some ingots. Okay, so I just stirred in the flux, let it sit a bit, and then scraped off the rest of the dross. So here you can see, let me just put down the spoon, take off the glove. Here is 6 pounds of molten aluminum, degassed, fluxed, and perfectly pure. There we go. My newest new crucible tools. And we're going to pour some glowing red metal. There we go. So, I had loaded up 6 pounds of the heat sinks. I guess I can take this off now. I loaded up 6 pounds of the heat sinks, but then as I said before, I expected to lose quite a bit to dross because they anodize them so that they have the aluminum oxide coating, and then that's what the dross is, and that's what we want out. So, as you can see, each of these ingots is about, actually I forget where actually that might be 6 pounds. I forget where I measured them. I filled it up with water and then did some calculations to see how far to fill it up for it to be 2 pounds an ingot. I forget how much that was. This might actually be 6 pounds. Anyway, I had calculated it to try and be 2 pounds per ingot. So as you can see, there's a full one there, and kind of a little blob there.